only, what did you pick for your work management system?
That's such a good question. I'm so excited.
Okay, so before we tell you the answer, we went through, surprise, surprise, we went through a process.
I love it.
So, yeah, we basically, Tori, who is our producer, Tori Matheson, she's awesome, basically went and, did an analysis of all the things that were important to us, one of which being self-hosting.
What are the things that we need the software to do?
Yeah.
And of those things, which ones are weighted accordingly? What are the nice to have? So yeah, we made a decision matrix of all the things that matter to us in the software. One of them was it should be self-hosted, and ideally free and open source. The first one that we started with Notion just because that was like easy to get set up, not cheap, not affordable. So we spent some time using Notion for a couple months before we decided that the cost to value was nowhere near in line with what we needed.
And also it was more like we bent Notion to make it work.
It's really not meant to
be
built
used
for game development.
Also, we're a Canadian controlled private company, so in order for us to get access to things like those tasty Canadian tax credits, we have to do a lot of reporting. And so our ability to yank data out of the system in a very specific way, in a very trivial fashion, is very important.
And Notion failed on that, and it was expensive. So then we moved to a piece of software called Plane, Plane, with .so, which was free and open source. It was more easy to track information. It was more easy to export information. It's
opinionated. It's a very opinionated piece of software, which so the team, they're a team out of Hyderabad, super great group of folks. Spent a lot of time on their Discord, giving them feedback, stuff like that. I really like what they're trying to build. They have they're trying to do the quasi open source plus pay thing. And we used their open source version for a while, over a year.
Not quite, but but it had a couple opinions that
were very difficult for us to work through and around. And so we ended up this year moving to YouTrack from JetBrains.
And it's been great.
It's been really good.
Yeah, we're really, really happy with YouTrack. It was a little bit to get it set up, but it's easy, human readable. It produces great reporting. It
shows up nicely on a TV screen, and so we do our board, right? Our work, our Agile board is on the screen, works really nicely, gets the data in and out.
And it's part of the JetBrains ecosystem, which is we use other tools from JetBrains that we're happy with. So yeah,
we automate, Jen talked about this very, very briefly earlier. We automate everything here, and its API is really robust. So we have lots of access, not just from a GUI perspective, but we can plumb deeply in there. It was very easy for us to get all the plane data into YouTrack. I'm a big believer in JetBrains anyway, so I'm a part-time platform engineer here, and I use the JetBrains suite for Python and Go pretty heavily, and so giving them our business was a really good choice, and its self-hosted option is awesome. We host everything on a server rack on the other side of this wall, so that's been a key kind of winning component for us. So, and a lot of the industry is moving towards SaaS style,
right?
Pay us $4 a month or whatever per user for the rest of your life, as we're just or $12 a month for that opportunity. And it's really hard for us to stack those costs. And so, we've generally taken stuff that we can flip here, either on a fixed cost basis or on a free and open source basis.
Yeah, the only piece of software that has managed to weight itself in favor of it's a SaaS product and a cloud hosted. Well, I mean, the Google Workspace, Google, but
no one should ever host their own email. It's always a bad.
But if I just put email aside, the only piece of software that has ever won the it should be a cloud hosted, pay per user per month software is Miro. That's the only one that actually provides such a unique value set that it is worth the cost.
Okay. All right. So with that, Man, we could get a whole discussion about all of that, but I really appreciate you walking through the thought process there as well. So anything you want to plug besides YouTrack and Miro?
Yeah, I mean, to our point earlier, we don't tend to post much on LinkedIn or on public sites. That's just not the way that we find we want to talk to folks about our business. We do have a mailing list that we update sort of quarterly-ish. We tend to include things in it like we ran this experiment on having a summer vacation closure, and here's how it went. And so if you're a person who is interested in the business of making games as well as the games themselves, it's, I think, an interesting mailing list. People seem to enjoy those when we send them out. So you can definitely sign up for that.
Yeah, we try and take like one kind of non-standard thing that we've tried and break it down and talk about the pros and cons of it and what we've learned from it. Like,
nice.
It's our endeavor to kind of just give back in our funny
Perfect.
way.
Well, we'll put a link for that down in the show notes.
Awesome.
Okay. Thanks a ton for giving us a walkthrough of your learnings. Yeah, it's great to hear what's going on inside of Critical Path as well. Yeah. Thank you both.
It was a pleasure. It was awesome being around.
Yeah.
All right.
Conversation.
Cheers. Until next time.